Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Resilience Reflex Show. I'm your host, Zaheen Nanji. Well, today is episode number 13, and I'm glad that I've been getting emails from other people saying, I like what you share with us. It makes me think differently. The tools that you give us helps me with moving forward and also building more resilience. So episode number 12, which was the first Sunday of this month, was all about emotional intelligence. And at that time, we spoke about 3 hacks that you can use, I guess, on how to build more emotional intelligence. Now, what is emotional intelligence? Well, go to zaheennanji.com, click on the Resilience Reflex show, and watch episode number 13. Now, I would like to introduce my co-host, Kathy. Kathy, you want to come on and say hi to everyone?
Sure. Hello, everyone. How's everyone tonight? And I want to say, Zaheen, before we get started on the show, your new book is absolutely awesome. I have been reading it, and you have done a fabulous job of writing that book. It's no wonder it's #1 and a bestseller on Amazon. And it's one of those books I cannot stop reading it. The information is fascinating and so valuable, but I want to take my time and go through the steps and the exercises so I can sit back and reflect on it. But kudos to you. It's a wonderful book. You should be so proud of yourself. It's great.
Oh, thank you. That means so much to me because sometimes you wonder, is this going to be good? Or like people going to take advantage of all the tools that are in there? Is it nicely explained? And as an author, we have all those doubts creeping up. So I'm so glad you told me that you can't keep it down. And that's what I like to hear because then I know I've done a good job. So thank you so much for that feedback, Kathy.
Oh, you're welcome.
So for the viewers and listeners on the podcast, Kathy has been on my show from day one, and she has been my rock on these shows. There was a time in the summer that she took some time off, and good on her because that allowed me as well sometimes to just say, okay, I'm done, time off. And sometimes we need to do that. And so today I know you are wondering, what are the 7 wellness secrets that are in the palm of our hands? And I'm going to go through that. But first, I want to take just a little time to ask you to just help me send some of your thoughts and your vibes, your positive vibes, and your prayers to a friend of mine who was the rock behind my business. She took care of the back end of my business so that it was just flowing. And that person is Karen Zook. She designed my websites, and I have 4 websites with her. She ran my social media. Everything that was on there, she did. She would also design the presentations for my speaking engagements so that I didn't have to worry about that. I would just email her, this is what I want on the slides, this is how it's going to look, and she would design those for me. Anything that you see even in here, she designed for me. She was amazing. On Thursday night, I found out that she went to God. She is in heaven. And that happened very, very suddenly. It was unexpected. So for a moment, I ask you to send your vibes, your good vibes, and your prayers to her family. And I ask for your support and your patience while I figure out the back end of my business, because she did everything up to the point that even my blogs, I would email it to her and she would upload it. And she did that for me because she knew how important it was for me to work on the bigger things, like creating content, like writing my book. And she said, Zaheen, don't worry, I'll do it for you. And it would be done. So I hope that I know that this show, I usually say to everyone when they watch the show or they listen to the podcast to go on my website, which is zaheennanji.com, and to go on there and either watch it or listen to the MP3. But today I'm going to tell you that it's not going to be on there because I have no idea how to do it. So you'll watch it on YouTube. And for the podcast, it will be on there, but it will be on iTunes. And I'm going to send that out in an email. So I encourage you to add your email onto my website, zaheennanji.com. Not only will you get the 6-part audio series to thriving in the midst of change, but today's handout, today's download will only be accessible if you're on my email list, unfortunately. Usually I have it on my show page so that you can click and download. Well, it won't be there. So today you're going to get a nice handout about the 7 wellness secrets in the palm of your hand, but only through email for now. And I apologize about that, but that's all I can do at the moment. So please be patient with me. Okay, so episode number 13, the 7 wellness secrets in the palm of your hand. Now I got this idea because I was asked to do a presentation for a women's conference, which I just did yesterday. And they had a hoot because they were amazed at how much we can do with ourselves, especially when it comes to healing. That we don't have to rely on medication or chemicals all the time. You can have that, but at the same time, you want to heal yourself as well instead of increasing your dosage or things like that. So we're going to teach you hand reflexology today. And when I say reflexology, yes, I'm not only a speaker and a business person, but I've also done reflexology, and I'm a trained reflexologist. And I do a lot of reflexology on men and women on their feet. So today, now, first, you may wonder, well, what is reflexology? And this treatment was there thousands of years ago in the Orient and in South Asia. And they believed that the reflex points of your body, especially your organs, were on your feet, your hands, and your ears. So you may be wondering, why hands, feet, and ears? Because the body needs energy. We are made of energy. Well, so are our organs. They are made of energy. And we have different systems in the body, right? We have the digestive system, we have the immune system, we have the respiratory system, and so on. But how do the systems run? Well, they run because our organs function to make it run. Your heart beats so that the blood can pump. Your spleen is there so that it helps with your immune system. All these have a function. And when we are always go, 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 we have a lot of anxiety, things like that, we do a lot, or we treat our body like a trash can instead of a temple, we are stressing the body out. And what happens is that the energy will start to deplete in those organs. So we need to rejuvenate them again. We need to reignite them again so they work well. And that happens through different ways. One is that you want to eat right for you. You've heard the saying from the father of medicine, let thy food be thy medicine. Let thy food be thy medicine. So what you eat, but also how you take care of your body. And so reflexology is one of those treatments that it may not be proven by science, but it has helped people. In fact, there's a book out there, and I can't remember the name or the doctor's name, but the doctor is in India, and he has a whole book on how a change in diet and doing reflexology every day has helped his patients overcome cancer. And he's got facts and facts in there And it was amazing to go through that book. So now I'm not saying that you need to do reflexology to overcome cancer. I'm not saying that at all. All I'm saying is that start doing something. You know, when we keep on doing something and nothing's working, well, try something else. And this is one of those things that you can try. Okay, so Kathy's going to help me out with this. But before I start, let me share some stats with you on stress, which I got from stress.org. 44% of Americans feel more stressed than 5 years ago. Stress is the basic cause of 60% of human illness and disease. Now, I think that kind of relates to strokes and heart disease. 3 out of 4 doctor visits are because of stress. And I will attest, I will confirm that too, because we have a wellness center, and when new clients come in, they have to fill out a health form. And I'll say 3 out of 4 people will put anxiety and stress as one of the reasons that they have. And it's amazing to see that. And they are on medications or they don't know what to do about it. 40% of stressed people overeat or eat unhealthy foods. 44% lose sleep every night. Wow. So once you start doing hand reflexology, believe me, some of these things will improve if you're looking into that. So why am I speaking about stress and anxiety? Because I think a lot of people don't know how to control anxiety. And by working on our reflex systems, you will start to see a difference. When I do reflexology, I've had clients come back to me and say, I feel so good, that really helped, and so on and so forth. Again, I'm not diagnosing, I'm just saying one thing can help. Okay, so Kathy, I'm going to show you this reflexology chart as well as all the viewers. For those of you watching, you can see it on the video, but for those of you on the podcast, again, I encourage you to go to zaheennanji.com, and you can probably see it there sometime in the future, but just for now, or through email, but just for now, you can watch it on the video here on YouTube on episode number 13. So if you look at that, you will notice that there's all these, points on your hand. So why are the points in those areas? Well, let me show you how this works. They say that the reflex points actually mirror the body. So if I were to look at my hands like this, even though in the chart right there, it's like you're looking at them. But if I were to show you, your spine is actually right here. And your spine in the body is right there. So this is how it actually mirrors, okay? You have one heart. So if you look at your left palm, your heart is on the left side. But your liver is on the right, so your right hand. And your liver is right on your right side. So it's right here. Your head and your sinuses, so your sinuses are right here, and your head is on, the point for it is right here. And this goes throughout the body, and then this here, which is the bottom part of the palm, is the part where the intestines are. Okay, so on both hands, right? So that's how you want to look at your hand. It just mirrors your body. Does that make sense, Kathy?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, good. So let's start then. Kathy's going to ask me some of the secrets or some of the ailments that her clients go through. And Kathy, I know I asked you to come on and introduce yourself, but I think we forgot about that. So why don't you tell us who you help and what kinds of things your clients go through? And when you ask me, I will show you the point for that, okay?
Okay. So I am a registered holistic nutritionist and a health coach, and I work with menopausal women ages 45 to 65, and they suffer and come to me from most of the points that we're going to talk about tonight. One of the things is digestion.
Ah, oh, big one, right?
Big one for a lot of people, digestion. And I have found too in my practice, younger people are having more problems than, the age seems to be lowering, that problems seem to occur. So you've got to wonder.
Yeah.
Some
And
of it's nutrition, obviously.
yes.
But stress, etc. But I see younger and younger people complaining about digestive issues, so that is a huge factor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I find too that a lot of the people that come through the wellness center also have issues about constipation is huge.
Yes. Yes.
And also some of them go through IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah.
And I find those two are the biggies, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then of course there's the other things.
Yeah. And a lot of people on over-the-counter drugs for, it's huge.
Right.
Digestive and as you say, irritable bowel syndrome, etc. Very sad. Yeah.
Okay, so here's a good one to do. So remember I said that the intestines are at the bottom of the palms right here. That's the reflex point. But instead of just taking your hand and just kind of pinching that area, I would suggest you either have a round highlighter pen. So if you have one, you can have that. Yeah, right there. And what I have is like the marker that we use on a dry erase board.
Right.
And what we do is we put that in the middle of our hands, just like that, and put your palms out, and then just roll it in that area. And you may have to fix it and, go back and just do that. And apply pressure, because you want the pressure to make a difference, right? It's the pressure that counts as well. Now, sometimes this may not work for everyone. So what we can also do is just use a golf ball is another one. And I don't have one on me right now. And then interlace your fingers just like this. And then have the ball right here. And then we can just roll the ball right there. Okay, so that's one way to do it. So, and I completely agree with you too, that sometimes we hold our tension in our stomach, yes?
Yeah.
And I find that's why a lot of people suffer from constipation and IBS. Do you agree?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so what did you think about that?
I love that suggestion.
Yeah, good.
I'm going to try that with some of my clients.
Yes, try it out.
Okay, that's great.
What's the next secret?
How about colds and sinuses?
Okay.
That's another big one, especially this time of year.
Right. So I'm going to show you another chart. That's a good one. So this is the handout that the viewers and the listeners are going to get. So it's just a hand that shows the main points that you want to work on, which are exactly 7 right there. And the sinuses I mentioned are on the fingertips right there. However, that's instead of just pressing on the fingertips, what we want to do is we want to just have your thumb support the back of the hand of the finger, and then take your forefinger and just rub up. And then as soon as you get to the top, you want to flick, like you flick a fly or you flick a marble, flick a marble, right? And then we'll go to the next finger and just again put your thumb behind your finger to support it, and then use your forefinger to rub up all the way up. And as you come to the top of the finger, you flick like you flick a marble. And keep on doing that for each finger and on each hand. Okay, so you continue doing that on each hand, including your thumb. Okay, so that's one of them. Now again, cold and sinus, you're right, it's the time of the year and we get congestion, we do that. And a lot of people will ask, so how many times do I have to do this? Yeah. And I say, well, as long as you keep, like you do each hand, but do it about 3 or 4 times a day. And they go, wow, that's a lot. But then I tell them, well, do you have time in the shower? Yes, you do. uh, do you have time during coffee breaks? Yes, you do, right? And it doesn't take long. How about lunch breaks? Yes, you do, right? Or if you take the train or bus to work or to school or anything like that, you have time to do that. And no one will know what you're doing. You're just rubbing your fingers up and flicking. You're rubbing your fingers up and flicking. That's all you're doing. So how's that for cold and sinus?
Yes, and I would think that would be a really good thing to do with kids, because you could make a game out of it with them.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
They would love it.
That's right. That's a great idea.
Well, better than, prescription medicine or something. So
that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so that's a great one. I love that one. That feels good too.
It does, doesn't it? I know. Yeah.
It's good to stretch those fingers.
Yeah. So that's another way too. Like if people don't want to rub up, you can just go like this with your thumb and just kind of rub up, or massage up, I guess, up the finger. Yeah.
Yeah. That's very good. Yeah, it feels good.
Good.
So yeah. So how about, this is another big one, insomnia.
Yes, as you saw or you heard in the stats that I mentioned, that 44% lose sleep every night because of anxiety and stress. And I think it's because with so much information coming through to us, or so many things to do, or like a lot of employees that I speak to and train, they say, I'm doing more with less nowadays. And so it's that anxiety at night, and then they can't sleep because the brain is going, what am I supposed to do, right, for the next day? So insomnia is huge, and this is a simple one. So I'm just going to show you again in the chart. Now, for those of you looking at the video, you will be able to see the chart. This is the head and the brain right there, right? And we have a gland right in the middle of the head and the brain, which is the pituitary gland. So you want to find that little spot on your thumb. And if we take, let's say, the left hand and take your right thumb and just press into it, you can feel a little ball. So right there, just a little ball in there. And if you can't, that's fine. But just at the top of the tip of the thumb, and you want to press into that. And you want to press for about 30 to 45 seconds. And do it on each thumb for about 30 to 45 seconds. And you feel that pressure there. You feel like maybe a numbing feeling, but that's okay. That's okay. And then you want to switch to the other hand, to the other thumb, the right thumb, and use your left thumb to press down again. And you want to put some pressure there. Now again, you have to realize that this isn't going to be in like one day of doing it. That doesn't mean that you'll sleep well the next day. It's not a quick fix. I would say if the viewers and the listeners on the podcast do this at least 3 times a day for about a couple of weeks, they will start to see a difference in their sleep. Okay, so that's the trick to insomnia, is to find that spot on your thumb and just kind of press on it. Okay.
Have you, Zaheen, had any women that are experiencing night sweats that have tried this?
That's a good one. And night sweats are due to hormones, because things are changing, right? So the gland here that we have is the one that controls all the other hormones as well. So if they do this, like if they press on the thumb, then it will really help them. Yes.
Okay. Great. That's very good to know.
That's a good question, though. Yeah.
Okay. How about headaches?
Good one. Yeah. So headaches can be the cause of different things, right? So if it's a headache because maybe your neck and your shoulders are tight, then what I'm about to show you may not work. What that means is that you need to go to a massage therapist or a chiropractor to work on the tension headache that you have, which is because of the tightness in the shoulders and the neck. Okay, so that's different. However, sometimes we just get that top headache in the forehead here that just comes and goes, or it's coming in for no reason. Or even some of the clients that you have, or even we have got migraines. This is a good one to do. So again, in the chart I showed you that we have the head and the brain are on the thumb. And what you want to do is you want to massage the thumb all the way down to the first crease in your thumb, which is right there. So the first crease in your thumb, you want to massage that going down and on the side. So you can also do this just right there, on the side all the way down, and keep on repeating that. Do it at least 3 times on each thumb. So down in the middle, that's right, and on the sides this way. Yeah. And then do the other side 3 times. And then I also find that when we use essential oils, when we have a headache, like the Japanese mint oil or peppermint oil, that really helps as well. So you want to do 2 things. You want to use essential oil. So the Japanese mint oil is really good, as well as what I'm showing you right now, which is going up your thumb and down the sides of your thumb to work on that headache area. And that will really help you do that. And so even if the headache isn't going away, keep on pressing. There's no harm in pressing. Like a lot of people say, well, what if I keep on doing it? Is it bad? No, it's not, because you're not harming anything. But if you use the 2 in combination, that will really help with the headache.
Does lavender essential oil work also for headache?
That's a good one. So, lavender is more for relaxation, or, someone who's going through anxiety. We recommend that. But with headaches, I have found that the Japanese mint oil works wonders.
Okay, great. That's very good to know also.
Mm-hmm.
Good information. So, how about the thyroid?
Yes, isn't that a big one nowadays? People talk about. Yeah.
Again, more people are having low thyroid issues too.
Yes, and that affects the energy again, right?
Yes.
And like I mentioned before, that with this treatment, it's all about rejuvenation of the organ. It's about re-energizing it so that you can function better. So with the thyroid, in the chart, it is right at the bottom of so this is your head, this is your neck area here. And of course, the thyroid is in that area. So it's right below your thumb here. And if you press on that, you will feel that bone right below your thumb there. Well, it's just above this is the bone here. It's right in there. So you want to press in there again for about 30 to 45 seconds. And then do the other side as well. So the other palm. And do that again 3 to 4 times a day for about a few weeks. But I would also recommend that people start to use a supplement called kelp. And that comes from seaweed. Even though you're on Synthroid, it will not affect Synthroid. At least from the research I have done, it doesn't. It's just like having a vitamin, but it's kelp. And to have that at the same time, and that will really help their thyroid. Okay?
I agree. I've used help with a lot of my clients, and it really works very, very well. It's a wonderful supplement.
Right.
Yeah. So how about your libido?
Ooh, that's a good one. People would want to know that.
Especially menopausal women.
That's right. And I know that we just shy away from talking about it, but it's a fact, isn't it? That it will come to a point where you'll want to know. And we have clients coming in here too, and when we are massaging them, they'll say things like, do you have anything to increase my libido? And they feel comfortable asking us because they trust that we're always there to help with their wellness. And so when you look at your palm, and when I showed you the chart, which is right here, the libido is on your wrist, so right there. So because it's below your intestines, so your intestines are right here, of course, right? But below that, below your stomach and the intestines, we have the libido area, which is your ovaries and the uterus for women. And that's in your wrist area. But again, how do people press into the wrist and get the reflex points there? Well, we don't press. What we do is you want to form a ring. So I have put my right hand up. So for those of you listening on the podcast, put your right hand up and then form a ring with your left hand, with your thumb and your forefinger, and then put that on your wrist and just rotate back and forth and put some pressure, just like you would have a bangle or on your wrist, you would move that back and forth. Well, now the bangle is your thumb and your forefinger, and you're just rubbing your wrist with that. Okay, so just like that. And again, you do it for 30 to 45 seconds. And you'll see, and if you keep on doing that regularly, then for women who are having issues with libido, they will start to feel a difference right there. I know that when I go for reflexology and the reflexologist will work on the feet, we have the same points but by our ankle area. And when she works on that, I will tell you the next day I will start to spot. And that is normal. And that's because she has activated something in the reproductive area for me. And that's okay. And if that happens to you, if you start to spot, that's a good sign. That's not a bad sign. Okay? So what do you think about that? Did you like that little massage?
Yeah, feels good. Yes.
Yeah. Good.
And how does it work, Zaheen, with reflexology on the ears?
Yes, yeah. So with the ears, because I mentioned before that we're all made of energy, and so are our organs, and we also have energy lines in the body. So, and they say it can only go to one point, like energy flows from one point to another. So the way that it works is that your extremities are the points where if we work on that area, it'll flow through the energy lines back to the organ and re-energize it. And the extremities are your hands, your feet, and your ears. So when we do massage, we always end with doing some reflexology on the outer ear and a little bit on the inner ear too, right? And we do that, and people say, wow, that just makes me feel really good and relaxed at the moment. And we go, yes, because we're pressing on the reflex points. In fact, at the wellness center here, we have a laser that we just got in that helps with the acupressure points on the ear, and that can actually help with overcoming the smoking behavior. So we'll be starting that in January.
Oh, that's really interesting to know. Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Good stuff.
Okay, so far, what have we done? We have done the digestion, right? Where you take a pen or a ball, and then you go this way, or with the ball, you go with your wrist. I mean, with your hands, laced up. We talked about insomnia, yes?
Insomnia, yeah.
Where you go into your thumb and you find that ball in there. If not, that's fine, but you go on the tip. And then we talked about headache, right? Which is you go down to the crease, the first crease of your thumb and the sides of your thumb. And then we talked about cold and sinus, which is your fingertips, right? But you don't want to press on your fingertips alone. You want to rub up and flick, right?
Right.
And then we talked about libido and thyroid. Right. So libido was the wrist, where you form like a ring and you keep on rubbing. And thyroid, we talked about that it's under your thumb, and you press on that area right there.
That's right.
Okay.
And anxiety.
Oh, yes, the big one. Okay, so anxiety is felt in a lot of places, right? Some of us feel it in our chest, some of us feel it in our stomach, but I showed you the point for the stomach is the intestines, where you just want to work on that. And some of us just feel it in our shoulders, but we have found that there's one spot that is very important you work on to overcome or to lessen the anxiety, and that's the adrenal glands, because that gets hits a lot when we have anxiety and stress. So the point for adrenal and the solar plexus is right in the middle of your palm, because again, you have to realize if your hand mirrors your body, that means the area right underneath the fingers are your lungs, right? And this is where we breathe. So if we press that area right below, not the fingers, but just about a third below the top of the palm, which is right in the middle, and you press on that and breathe. So when you press in, you breathe in, and then you exhale through your mouth and you release the pressure off your palm. So let's do that again. So breathe in and you press in, and then exhale through your mouth and release the pressure. So let's do that one more time. Breathe in and press into the middle of your palm and release. That's right. And you do that on both sides. And if you find that you can't put the pressure in, then you don't have to do it with your hand up like that, but put your palm on the table or maybe on your armchair rest. And then, so if imagine this is the table, then you have some support. So then you can use your other thumb to press into that area. So then you're not, using a lot of, right? So you have some support. So you just press in and do that for 30 to 45 seconds or for every breath, and then just let go. And you'll notice right away that your anxiety is just lessening. It's amazing. When I did this yesterday at the women's conference, they couldn't believe how good they felt after.
And just going back to digestion, Zaheen, is there any you can use, say if you've got heartburn or indigestion specifically?
So with that, it's a combination of things. So heartburn and acid reflux and things like that are in the stomach area. And I'm just going to show you this handout here, which is your palm. So if you look right there, the stomach issue is, or the stomach point is right next to the thumb, but like it's, below the thumb, but right next to it. Okay, so it's right above the intestines, but towards the thumb. Okay, so what they would want to do is work on that area. So that's right here, that's here. Or what they can do is just pinch that area. That's the best way actually, is to pinch. So what I'm doing is I'm just pinching here. If you look at the palm below and you look at the palm up, right there. Okay, and do that for about, again, 30 to 45 seconds, and that helps on both palms. So you're pinching. So for those of you listening who can't see the video, you are pinching the area between your thumb and your forefinger. Okay, and pinch that for 30 to 45 seconds, and that should help. But like I said, it's a combination. We get acid reflux because we have too much acid that's coming out into our food pipe. And that could be one, that there's too much acid, or two, that the little band that connects the food pipe to the stomach is a little bit enlarged. So the acid's going up. So we want to make that smaller. And the only way it becomes smaller is by changing your diet, honestly. And that's what really helps. And then the other one that you told me was indigestion, but that would just, again, be careful of what they eat, especially before they go to bed, or the supper part.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not eating too late before bed, etc.
Yes, yes. So did we get 7 secrets in then?
Yes, we did.
Oh, good. Well, that was fun, wasn't it?
Oh, I love that. Yes, that was great.
Yeah, yeah. So again, for those of you watching, I know that Kathy had no idea about any of the points that I was going to talk about. We kind of discussed this, and we thought, okay, so the 7 main things that her clients would be looking for, and so we thought, well, anxiety is one of them, indigestion, libido, thyroid. Those are all issues that even we see in our clients when they walk into our wellness center. So we thought these would be the 7 common ones that we could talk about. And I'm sure that you enjoyed this small nugget of information that you can use right away as of today. Now, I know we took a little longer with the Hangout, but hey, you got a lot more information, and you can watch the video over and over again. Or for those of you listening on the podcast, you can listen over and over again, as well as go onto YouTube and look for ZaheenNanji.com or the Resilience Reflex Show. Again, let me repeat that, the Resilience Reflex Show, and watch episode number 13. Okay, and with that, like I mentioned, the downloads will go to my email subscribers this week. And if you'd like the copy of the download, then get on my email list or email me too through the website at zaheennanji.com and tell me, hey, I watched your show, but I'm not on your email list yet, or I just got in, but it's too late. Can I have those handouts? And I will send that to you. But hopefully in a month's time, I will know the back end of my websites and know how to work it. Like I mentioned at the beginning, I don't have someone to be able to do that at the moment. So when it's on my website, I will send out another email saying, hey, it's on now. Here you go again. Okay. Kathy, any last words?
I love this, and it just proves that people need to take care of themselves. This is something they can do for themselves very easily on a daily basis that will help them immensely. And like you say, maybe once a month, like a massage, get a reflexology treatment. It's well worth it. We all need to look after ourselves.
Exactly. And I think, nowadays people think that taking medications or doing this is going to help, and I'm not saying it's not. Science has come quite far, but I think if we add or supplement or complement, then it's not becoming worse. That's what I'm trying to say, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what we want. Now, the next episode, which is going to be the first Sunday of the month in November, we'll have a follow-up from an author who is going to talk about stress and anxiety in his new book. So watch out for that. That will be episode number 15. And I'm also going to bring in an author who talks, not on that day, on another day, who will talk about how to use essential oils to help with your wellness. And if you do suffer from anxiety, then that will be something that you will want to listen to. I mean, resilience, the reason I brought today's show to the Resilience Reflex show is because things will happen in our life, and using the simple techniques like that can help overcome things instead of rushing to your doctor. And I find that more and more of us are going on antidepressants or and anxiety pills or something, which I think instead of doing that, let's look at other resources that you will have in the palm of your hands. Okay, up until then, I'll see you next week on episode number 14, where we'll talk some more about anxiety and stress so that you can overcome those to build your resilience. Until then, goodbye.